Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Wow, we got an absolutely fantastic guest on today. Haven't had a eye doctor on before. No, I don't think we had one on recently, at least in the last couple of years. But it's always great to get an understanding of how to take care of your eyesight, how to take care of yourself, and understand a lot of things that are associated, even with myths. Sometimes you have to debunk myths. So we got a great doctor on today that's going to help us out and educate us and inspire us. So I tell you, I want to lock the radio, TV, and all of the streaming platforms up at the same time. Kevin, let's do it.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get challenges of tomorrow. Now here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Series for Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Wow, I tell you, we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. We got this absolutely fantastic doctor that's going to educate us, inspire us, and tell us how it is. Because I believe that our eyesight, our whole body as a whole is important, but we have to understand that, we want to continue to be able to see, we want to do the best possible things to maintain the best vision that we have. And it's certain things that I believe that we have to understand. So I'm excited about this show. Then wherever you're watching it at or listening to it on the radio, if you want to be part of that on the radio, all you do is pick up the phone and dial 1-866-577-2473 or go to any platform that you're watching the show on. Ask any questions, and I promise you, we'll get you an answer. How you doing today, Dr. Cooley?
I'm doing great, James. I am doing great. I'm really excited about this show today with this guest. We had a chance to talk to her briefly, what mostly you did. And, she's from my home state, so I'm happy about that. She's going to tell us a little bit about a certain myth that's out there. She's going to discuss her book and a lot of things about, the eye, the vision, and we're really excited to have her today.
I am excited. I'm excited because I don't think we had a guest, an eye doctor on before, at least not in the last couple of years. And so it's always great to be able to get a refresher or get a clear understanding of what needs to be done. So, Michelle, can you do the honors and introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest of ours?
Yes, the title of today's show is called Debunking the Carrot Myth. And we're having a discussion with board-certified ophthalmologist, fellowship-trained neuro-ophthalmologist, associate professor, and author, Dr. Rani Banik. And she's going to be talking about debunking common eye health myths and sharing seasonal fall foods to safeguard your audience's vision. And she's providing tips on protecting your eyes from too much sunscreen, discussing which foods can serve as our natural blue blockers, and her book she will discuss called Beyond Carrots. So let's tell you a little bit about our guest today. Dr. Rani Banik is America's integrative eye doctor. Like I said, she's a board-certified ophthalmologist and fellowship-trained neuro-ophthalmologist with additional certification in integrative and functional medicine. She focuses on the root cause of eye diseases and uses integrative strategies for conditions such as thyroid eye disease, macular degeneration, cataract, dry eye, glaucoma, and other autoimmune diseases of the visual system. Her treatments are based on nutrition, botanicals, lifestyle modification, essential oils, and supplement. She runs a private practice based in New York City and is also an associate professor of Mount Sinai in New York City, where she serves as an educator and researcher. As principal investigator of several clinical trials and diseases of the optic nerve, Dr. Banik uses cutting-edge approaches such as nanotechnology and gene therapy. Her latest book, Beyond Carrots, Best Foods for Eye Health A to Z, has won high praise from medical professionals in both the fields of ophthalmology and integrated medicine. Beyond Carrots focuses on the 30 plus nutrients and 40 foods that best provide complete nutrition for your eyes. She has a companion cookbook as well called the Beyond Carrots Cookbook. So please welcome to the show, Dr. Rani Banik.
How you doing, Doc? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing amazing. And thank you both so much for having me and for that kind introduction.
Wow. I am so excited about learning about the eyesight, learning about your book. And now Michelle just told me that you got cookbooks and everything is out there. So we're going to talk about all of those things. So, hey, Doc, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up and hobbies, things what make you click?
Sure. So I am from New York and I still live in New York. I went to school at Brown University up in New England, and I then did residency in ophthalmology. So I'm an eye doctor, and I did a fellowship in neuro-ophthalmology. So all the connections between the brain and the eyes, that's what I deal with. And on top of that, I do what I call integrative ophthalmology, which brings together the holistic aspect to eye health. So that's based in nutrition, lifestyle modification, stress reduction, botanical supplements, all of the extra things that are in our control that we can do to support our vision health and our brain health. So that's what I do. And a fun fact about me, I actually did part of my training in California. And so I was on the West Coast for a while. And I was back then during my residency, I was actually also into salsa dancing. And I was so into salsa dancing that there was a time when I actually considered not finishing my residency and being a professional salsa dancer. But then I thought about it. I said, okay, well, is this a sustainable career? Like, could I be a professional salsa dancer for, the next 20, 30 years? So I ended up just saying, okay, that's going to be a special hobby of mine. It's not going to be a profession. So I stuck with ophthalmology, and here I am today, 25, 30 years later, still doing eye care. So,
wow. Did you always wanted to be a doctor? When did it hit you that this is what I want to do?
So I was 5 years old, and my dad was he's a physician. He's an ER doctor. And so everybody would always tell me, oh, you're going to grow up to be a doctor just like your dad. So since I was 5, that's when I first remember it. I kind of grew up thinking I would be a physician. But then I kind of got sidetracked a little bit in high school and college, and I was really into astronomy also. So I have all these little things that I get interested in. And so I considered being an astronomer. But when I got to college, I couldn't do the math and the physics. So I was like, okay, this is not for me. So I ended up, my default was going to medical school.
So
rocket science was too hard, so I couldn't do it.
At Brown University, that means you can do anything. So how did you get interested in eye health nutrition?
So the eye health part happened early in medical school. I was shadowing different doctors just to see what they did, just to see if I would be interested. So I went to visit like a primary care doctor, a pediatrician, a dermatologist, and those fields were interesting, but it didn't really draw me. And then I spent a day shadowing an ophthalmologist, and I absolutely fell in love with what he was doing. He was taking care of all ages, from newborns to like people who are 90 years old. He was seeing patients in the clinic. He was doing surgeries, and I went in with him for the surgery. So I watched a cataract surgery. So it really was a day that shaped my life. I was introduced to vision care, and I said, wow, this is really so impactful. Like, I could really help people by helping them restore their vision, giving them back their functionality. And earlier, how you were saying, eyesight is so important to us. I think it's the most underrated sense. We all think about our senses, but we don't really value our vision, and we don't really take care of it. So there's so much we can do, especially with nutrition, to support our vision health. So I'm a big proponent of using food as medicine when it comes to your eyes, trying to stave off certain things that can happen by having a healthy diet and also healthy lifestyle.
Wow. So role models when you was growing up, and also intern in medical school and all that stuff. Is it any certain people that stands out that was so influential in you and your successes that you still thank them every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was in my ophthalmology residency training, we had attending doctors who would come and supervise us and teach us, and most of them were men, and most of them were white men. Nobody looked like me. Plus, I was the only female in a class of 9 residents, so one female, and again, nobody looked like me. And then there was one attending who was female, and she was from South Asia, which is where I'm from. I'm from India originally. She's from Burma. And also she's very petite, just like I am. And so I really connected with her, and she taught me so much about just confidence and professionalism, and being kind of a pioneer. And she was a pioneer in her day, and she did some amazing things. She won some amazing awards from the American Academy of Ophthalmology for her work. She did a lot of mission work as well. So she was a great role model for me. And I'll always be grateful to her for showing me that it is possible. And even though you may be the one person who doesn't quite fit in, at least at that time I didn't really fit in, you can achieve your goals. And it was amazing to see her and her career and what she'd accomplished.
So wow, we got about 2 minutes before the break, but we can start on this. What exactly is an integrated ophthalmologist?
So a lot of people don't know what it is, because I don't think people have really used the term before. I kind of put it together, coined it. There are lots of integrative doctors who kind of take traditional Western medicine and they add in holistic care, whether it's traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine or functional medicine. So what I do is I take my traditional training, my ophthalmology training, and I bring in all of these natural modalities. So again, nutrition, lifestyle, like things that are in people's control that they can modify and improve their health with. So that's what I do. I integrate the best of both worlds, the traditional thinking plus the holistic.
Wow, this sounds exciting. It sounds like exciting. It sounds like a lot of training. It sounds like a lot of experience, So I tell you what, we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up with Dr. Rani. And if you want to be part of the conversation, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can pick up the phone, dial 1-866-577-2473, or you can go to the platform that you're watching this on and listen to it on and ask any question that you might have. Remember, it's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Hi, I'm to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I got this, like I said, this fantastic Dr. Rani here is getting ready to educate us. She already educated us. She told us a little bit of things about her. Now we get ready to dive off into that topic and learn some of these great things about this integrated ophthalmologist and just go from there. So if you want to be part of the conversation, 1-866-577-2473 or whichever platform you're watching on, just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. Promise you we'll get you an answer. Hey, docs, can you tell our viewers and our listeners, what do you love most about your job?
What do I love most? Well, I was saying earlier that our eyes are so precious. Our vision is probably the most important of the five senses. And when people lose their vision, it can be really devastating, not to be able to see, not to be able to read or drive, go to work, see faces of your loved ones. And so what I do as part of my job is to help restore people's sight, to give them back their functionality. And I think that's I'm blessed to be able to do that, to have the background and the training to do that. So that's what I love most, is making an impact to help people function again. So for example, if someone has a cataract and we do cataract surgery, we would take out the cataract, put an implant in, and then they can see again. They can do all those things they love to do. So that's what I love most, is being able to help people with their vision.
Wow. They always talk about the other organs, the heart, the gut, all of this. But a lot of people, just like you mentioned earlier, they don't talk that much about eye care. And what are some of the things that we could do to get them to focus on the entire body, especially eyesight?
I would say the most important thing people should do is get their annual eye checkup. We all think about going to our primary once a year or going to the dentist twice a year, but how many people actually go see their eye doctor once a year? I think in terms of keeping your eyes healthy and picking up conditions before they become a problem, it's simple visit to the eye doctor, getting it checked, getting your eyes dilated will help answer a lot of those questions and keep your vision healthy and strong. So that's a very simple, actionable thing people can do.
Yeah. So what are some of the most common issues and problems with the eyesight that could be prevented before it get to a terrible condition that people ignore?
Yeah, I would say one of the most common conditions that people have, whether young or old, it happens to almost everyone, is dry eyes. And dry eyes are where the surface of the eye that's normally lubricated by our tears dries out. It can be uncomfortable. It can feel irritated, scratchy, sandy, like there's gravel inside your eye. And it can also cause blurry vision. So it may make it hard to focus, hard to read. And sometimes the eyes externally, they can even look red and irritated. Sometimes the lids can get swollen. So that's a very common condition. I've seen it in older individuals, but even kids can get dry eyes. So dry eyes can be prevented. Yes, we can use drops. You probably have seen, and if you go to the drugstore, you probably see lots of drops that you can use, lubricating drops. But really the best way to prevent it is through nutrition. And we know that when people have foods that are rich in fatty acids like omega-3 fatty acids, we know about their benefits for heart health and brain health, but they're also tremendously beneficial for eye health. So if you want to promote or eye health and not have dry eyes and treat it kind of at a root level, to treat inflammation with nutrition, increase your intake of omega-3s. You can, if you eat fish, definitely have fish 2 or 3 times a week. If you don't eat fish, then another great source would be seeds like chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds. These can all help support dry eye. And then, of course, there are lifestyle habits that we can all do to help prevent dry eye. So a lot of people have dry eye because they're on screens all day. And when we're on screens, we're staring at the screen. We're not blinking enough. We're only blinking about 5 times a minute when we're supposed to be blinking 15 to 20 times a minute. So simply by increasing your blinking or making it intentional blinking, You really kind of have to think about it and maybe do a little squeeze while you're blinking and really get the tears flowing and your glands flowing, healthy oils lubricating. Simple things like that can make a big difference when it comes to a condition like dry eyes.
You just mentioned screens and television and computers, etc. What is considered too much that could, a lot of people talk about this all the time. What is considered, I guess, too much television watching, too much screen, too much computer games that could adversely affect your eyesight?
Yeah, so we're all on screens. We live in a digital world, so they're almost unavoidable. So too much, I think there's no specific number in terms of like how many hours do you spend on a screen a day. It's really based off of whether you have symptoms from it or not. So the symptoms include, we'll call it digital eye strain. The symptoms may include trouble focusing, blurry vision that comes and goes, dry eyes that I described earlier, but also headache, light sensitivity, sometimes even neck and shoulder pain. So there can be mechanical issues also from being on screens too much. But in terms of numbers, I just want to share some statistics with you. So pre-pandemic, in terms of how many hours people spent on a screen, can you take a guess? How many hours do you think the average U.S. adult spent on screens before the pandemic?
You talking about daily, or you talking about
Just on average, like how many hours a day do you think most people spend on screens?
I'd say anywhere between 8 to 10.
Yeah. So the upper end of that 10, it was actually 10 hours and 38 minutes, according to one survey, pre-pandemic. So that was for adults. That's huge. You think about like work-related screen time, personal use, watching TV, watching Netflix, it all adds up. And for children, there are actually age-based time limits for how much time kids should spend on screens, but that went out the door. Even pre-pandemic, it had gone out the door. I think kids were spending 6 hours a day in front of a screen, and now it's probably even more than that because kids are also doing their homework on screens. So we're a screen-based society. It's unavoidable. But again, there's lots of things you can do from a nutritional perspective, from a lifestyle perspective, to counteract some of those screen-related symptoms that people could have, like digital eye strain. So lots of people can do.
Yeah, we got a question from Joshua Goldsmith, Financial Corporations. Hello, and thank you for the show. What effects do UV rays have on our eyes?
Well, thank you for asking that, because when we're talking about general eye health, that's probably one of the biggest things we can do to be proactive about our eyes, is to protect our eyes from UV rays. So the sun emits lots of different wavelengths of light, but UV light is the most potentially damaging to our eyes, UVA and UVB rays. And they can cause things like growths on the surface of the eye, whether it's benign or malignant. They can cause burns on the cornea or in the retina. UV rays can cause cataracts, macular degeneration. So there's lots of negative effects of too much UV exposure for our eyes. So what I recommend are sunglasses. And you should look for, when you buy sunglasses, it doesn't matter how much they cost. It doesn't matter if you're buying a $10 pair or if you're buying a $300 pair. Look for a sticker that says UV 400 or UVA UVB blocking. So 100% UVA UVB blocking or UV 400. The sticker should say that. And then you're giving your eyes the full protection they need from the sun. So even on cloudy days, I still wear my sunglasses, because those rays, or the rays from the sun are so powerful, they can even get through those clouds. And you don't want to have issues down the road, so it's better that you be proactive. Even for kids, I do recommend that they wear sunglasses also.
So you said UV 400. I did not get the other one that you had said.
They're basically equivalent, but UV 400, the sticker will say that, or 100% UVA and UVB blocking.
Okay.
Then you're good. Or if you really don't want to wear sunglasses, the other thing you can do is you can wear a hat with a wide brim. So like a baseball cap or a wide brimmed hat that will shield your eyes. That will be good as well. Sometimes I do both, actually. When it's super sunny, if I'm out on the water, I will wear both a hat and sunglasses.
Oh, yeah. So, and you mentioned a point earlier that most of us don't do. I mean, like go to the eye doctor once a year. Actually, I got an appointment coming up tomorrow.
Okay, good, good,
You know,
good, excellent.
but I tell you, oh, we got the World Sight Day coming up, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. But when is that?
So
And we got
World
about a minute
Sight
before the
Day.
break, but we're gonna talk about it.
Okay, sure. What World Sight Day is October 12th. So it's Thursday, October 12th. And in recognition of that, the whole world basically, we focus on that theme. And this year's theme is eye health in the workplace.
And I tell you, we're gonna keep back up. We'll get back. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about the World Sight Day. I tell you, it's going to be part of this great conversation with this great doctor. You pick up the phone, down 1-866-577-2473. Oh, it's a platform you watch it on. Just when it comes to us, the person in my head. Yes, your life. We'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Always dream big. Dream big with your heart, mind, soul. Dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. But continue to Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be on it, to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I'm learning so much, especially about these sunglasses and stuff. I know I've been told many times that I need to get them, but now Doc just convinced me UV 400. Yeah, so I'm gonna take that advice. I'm gonna take that advice. So hey Doc, we left off at the end talking about the Sight Day coming up, the World Sight Day. Can you explain to our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about that and what it entails?
Yeah, so it's a day celebrated around the world where we raise awareness of the importance of eye health. So it's not just eye care providers, ophthalmologists, optometrists, but all organizations around the world promote World Sight Day, including the UN. And so every year there's a theme, and this year's theme is eye health in the workplace. Now, whether you work, let's say you work in a factory and you may be working with tools, heavy machinery, you should always be wearing eye protection. I can't tell you how many times over the years I've seen injuries come in from people who are woodworking or doing work with metal, and they're not wearing their safety goggles and something accidentally goes into their eye, a small piece of shard or wood, and they unfortunately lose vision. It can be pretty devastating to have that type of injury. So again, these things are preventable. Prevention is kind of the theme of today, what I'm talking about. And so wearing something, as simple as goggles, safety goggles. And so we were talking also earlier about being on screens. So a lot of people, our work is on our computer. And so we spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day in front of a screen. So what can you do to promote your eye health when you're on a screen? Well, we talked a little bit earlier about dry eyes. But the other thing you can do is there are screen filter apps. So for example, if the screen is too bright, if you're very light sensitive, there are apps you can download that will help to modulate the light coming from your screen so you won't be as light sensitive. And it'll just help your eyes feel more refreshed and not get so fatigued at the end of the day. So there are a lot of things people can do. And also in terms of just, thinking about your workstation. So, a lot of us, we're on a screen, whether it's a monitor or laptop. So your eyes should be at eye level with what you're looking at. So if your screen is all the way up here and you're sitting down here and you're looking up at the screen, there's more of a chance that your eyes are going to dry out because you're looking up and more of your eye is exposed, versus if you have your screen slightly below eye level, then it'll improve your lubrication. It'll be less likely that you'll have dry eyes. So little things can make a big difference. Think about your workstation, your ergonomics, how you're sitting, how your neck is, so you don't have neck strain. So lots of little things you can do to improve your eye health in the workspace.
Wow.
Carrot.
You're absolutely right. I want to talk about the title of the show today, Debunking the Carrots. Because a lot of people say, hey, you eat carrots and you do this and you do that, it's going to improve your eyesight. It's going to do all these other great things. So tell us why you chose that title.
Yeah, so a lot of people, like you said, James, they immediately, if you think about foods for your vision, you think of carrots. And a lot of parents will tell their kids, oh, eat your carrots, then you'll have good eyesight for the rest of your life. I'm sure many people have heard that. I heard that for sure. So first of all, I'm going to say it's not completely a myth. So yes, we do need carrots because carrots provide beta carotene, which is a form of vitamin A, and vitamin A is important for our eyes. It helps with dry eye. It helps to prevent night blindness. So yes, carrots are important. They provide that nutrient. But the reality is that there are so many other parts of the eye that need support and so many other nutrients that can support our eyes. And that's what I talk about in my book. That's not just beta carotene and carrots. There are actually over 30 nutrients our eyes need. And there are over 40 foods that provide those nutrients. So if you rotate through different foods, don't just eat carrots every day, rotate through all kinds of different colors in your food, you will be able to get those nutrients your eyes need. So don't worry if you can't remember, oh my God, she said 30 nutrients. That's overwhelming. I can't remember that. Don't worry about that. In my book, I actually provide you 4 simple strategies of how to get all the right foods in your diet that will provide your eyes with the full nutrition that they need. So carrots are the tip of the iceberg. Just remember that. It actually came out of World War II propaganda. I don't know if you know the story, James, but the whole myth came out of World War II, but it's still propagated today.
So you speak about all of these foods. I'm interested to learn about the rest of them, or some more of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So 2 important nutrients that we need for our eyes are they have long names, so they may be tongue twisters, but they're called lutein and zeaxanthin. And many people have probably never even heard of these nutrients, but they're really, really important for our eyes because these nutrients, our bodies can't make them, so we have to get them from food or take it as a supplement. But these nutrients get deposited in the back of the eye, and they're like our natural UV blockers and blue blockers. So it's amazing that our eyes have evolved in this way to create shields using these nutrients against blue light and against UV light. So again, lutein, zeaxanthin, those are the names of the nutrients. And where can you find them? The best place to find them are leafy greens. So eat your spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard, whatever green you like. Eat your greens because that will give you the highest content or concentration of lutein and zeaxanthin. You can also get them from other foods. You can get it from egg yolk. The beautiful orange color, yellow orange color of egg yolk is actually from these pigments. So you can eat eggs. Don't throw away the yolk. Eat the yolk. Also, yellow and orange pepper. So basically, anything, you're seeing a theme here. Anything with colors, really bright colors, particularly yellows, oranges, greens, will probably have some lutein and zeaxanthin in it. So include that in your diet, and that will help protect your eyes from within. So you don't necessarily have to always rely on blue blocking glasses and screen filters and things like that.
Wow. Yeah. So that's good to know. I love green foods. Especially you mentioned collard greens.
Yeah,
try to.
collard greens are phenomenal. Plus, they give you lots of other nutrients, and they're great in fiber, and they're hydrating too. So many great things all around with any kind of green, actually.
Right. What's some others that also help out the eyesight? Other foods.
So there's a couple of fall foods that are great for your eyes. So corn, remember, corn is also yellow, and corn can come in different colors. And if you can get any of the different colors, then that would be wonderful as well. So for example, there's red corn, there's purple corn. So all of the pigments in the corn will help protect your eyes. And there are studies to show that these pigments, I'll get a little bit nerdy and scientific here, but the pigments are called anthocyanins, and they can help protect your retina, protect your optic nerve. So there is science behind it. But if you eat the food, you're getting the nutrient, and you don't necessarily have to, again, think, oh, did I get this today? Did I not? Just rotate through some of these foods, and automatically you will be eating for your sight, eating right for your sight, and providing your eyes with the nutrition they need. Also, we're getting into, close to Halloween and Thanksgiving here in the US. So classic fall foods like pumpkin, butternut squash, sweet potato, Brussels sprouts. These are all great foods for your eyes. Even pomegranate. I love pomegranate, and pomegranate has specific nutrients in it that help protect your eyes as well. So just rotate through all those great colorful foods. Color is the key here. Lots of colors.
Lots and lots and lots of color. So you mentioned earlier in the show about thyroids. One of the things that you specialize in, doctors, that you have to do. Can you tell our viewers and listeners why it's so important that if you have a condition like that you take care of your eyesight? Because a lot of times it's the bulge, and the reason I say that because I got it. And the bulge in other eyes, and the dryness, and et cetera, is more often.
Yeah, so thyroid issues, whether it's hyperthyroid or hypothyroid, when it's autoimmune, meaning it's because your body's reacting to itself and it's creating antibodies against the thyroid, those same antibodies that can affect your thyroid can also cross-react with the tissues in your eye socket. So the receptors look the same. So the receptors on your thyroid gland look the same as the receptors inside the eye socket, in the fat, in the tissues in the eye socket. So the eyes can get inflamed. And when they get inflamed, it's called thyroid eye disease. And you may have seen commercials on TV because there are some new drugs that work very well for thyroid eye disease, but also there's lots you can do from a nutritional standpoint and a supplement standpoint to help with thyroid eye disease. So thyroid eye disease, again, can cause bulging of your eyes, can cause dryness, can cause swelling of the lids. There's lots of things that can happen with thyroid eye disease, but there's ways to treat it naturally. One of the best ways to treat it is actually selenium. So selenium is a mineral. It's part of a multivitamin, but we know from studies that looking at thyroid eye disease that people who take selenium supplements, 100 micrograms twice a day, can have improved clinical features from thyroid eye disease. And also turmeric, which is a spice, it's the yellow spice that many people cook with, can also be used for thyroid eye disease.
Here I am, Dr. Banik. Sorry about that. It's a little technical difficulties. So turmeric is like, I think people sometimes they call it turmeric, correct?
Yeah, you can call it either way is fine, I think.
Oh, getting ready to go to commercial break now. So we'll be back on It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we're offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at cooleyfoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Yeah, welcome back to It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I'm Michelle Cooley, and we have this great, amazing guest on the show today, Dr. Rani Banik, and she's just discussing debunking the carrot myth. And if you want to be part of the show, please just log into a live stream you're in, ask her questions or bring in comments. So, Dr. Rani, tell us about, what was the inspiration? Why did you decide to write the book that you did? I'm sure you've given speeches and, training about that. What was the purpose? What was the backstory of how this book came to be?
So actually, I'll tell you the backstory to the backstory first. I was really grappling with a chronic health issue. So I had chronic migraine. And if you've ever had a migraine, you know it's no fun. I actually had a migraine every single day for several years straight. So every day I woke up with a headache. And I tried all the typical medications on the market for migraine and nothing was helping me. So it was then when I started to kind of do research and figure out what else I could do from a natural standpoint or nutritional standpoint to help me with my migraine. And what I discovered was really eye-opening, pun intended. I discovered that, I was basically living off a junk food diet. I was eating like pizza, ice cream, diet soda. That was my diet for years. And I never had any fresh fruits or vegetables. And so once I started to change my diet, instead of eating processed foods and unhealthy foods, changing into more whole foods and natural foods, that's when I started to feel better. I was also taking some supplements. And so once I got better, I started to apply those principles for my patients. And I found that, as a neuro-ophthalmologist, I actually treat a lot of migraines. I was trying my protocols on my patients, and a lot of them improved. So I was like, wow, this is really phenomenal that they're getting better with these nutritional changes and their supplements. So then I took it a step further and I said, okay, well, these principles can also be applied to eye health. So I started using the same nutritional kind of strategies, not exactly the same, but a little bit more tailored to eye health. And I saw huge benefits. So I have patients who had cataracts where their cataracts were progressing and then they basically stopped progressing. Patients who had macular degeneration, who even after 5 or 6 or 7 years have not progressed with their macular degeneration because they're using the power of food. And it's really phenomenal to be able to give patients this this option that, okay, you may be heading down a path where ultimately you may need to have a procedure done, you may need to have surgery, but let's see what we can do now in terms of what's under your control that may ward off having to have a procedure, having to have that surgery for as long as possible. So I've seen the incredible impact of nutrition. And the reason I wrote the book, to answer your question, Michelle, is really because I want to educate not only the public, I also want to educate my colleagues in ophthalmology and optometry, because the truth is we were never taught nutrition. We were never really taught nutrition in medical school or after medical school. So this is all what I've learned through my own research. And now I want to share it with everyone so that my colleagues can also counsel their patients on how they can use the power of nutrition, how they can use the power of lifestyle to better their own eye health.
Wow. Also, in your book, you talk about the recipes. We talked about a little bit about what type of recipes do you have in your book?
So I have all kinds of recipes, but all the recipes are curated to provide more than one nutrient. So I said, there are 30 nutrients where our eyes need to stay healthy. So each of the ingredients in those recipes has multiple nutrients. So if you put them all together, you put all the ingredients together, you're basically getting a powerhouse food or meal for your eyes. And so in the book, I have just a couple of recipes. I think I have about 20 recipes, some smoothies, some entrees, some salads, even some desserts. And in the cookbook, I have over 160 recipes that go through basically breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, beverages, smoothies. So really, I think there's something there to suit everyone's palate because there are so many amazing foods beyond carrots, so many foods that can help you keep your vision healthy and strong.
Yeah, so tell our viewers and listeners where they can get the books at, because I'm interested in getting one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for that. So you can get them on Amazon. That's probably the easiest way to get them. You can get them in print or in Kindle if you have a Kindle. And or you can also go to my website. And then if you go to my website, Dr. Rani Banik, you can see my books. I also have online courses that I teach. So, I'm based in New York City. So if you're not able to come see me, if you're interested to see me, but you can't come see me here in New York, you can always maybe participate in one of my online courses and learn a lot about what you can do to keep your eyes healthy and strong, because you need for them to last you for a lifetime. Right? You don't want to keep your, to take your eyesight for granted and have something happen, something especially that's preventable. So there's a lot that can be said towards, the old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It is so true when it comes to your vision. So true.
Just tell our audience what is the name of the books so that they will know.
Absolutely, sure. So it's the main book is called Beyond Carrots: Best Foods for Eye Health A to Z, and basically I go through the whole alphabet and I give you multiple foods for each letter that can help support your eyes. And then the cookbook is called the Beyond Carrots Cookbook. And if you get the main cookbook, it's basically designed for an omnivore. But if you happen to be vegan or vegetarian, I have 2 separate versions as well that are also on Amazon. So the main book, the cookbook, and then the vegan and vegetarian versions.
So let's talk a little bit. We got about 3 minutes in the show about diabetes and how could that cause eye problems and sometimes even blindness. So what would you tell?
Yeah, so diabetes, we know, is an epidemic around the world. And when people have uncontrolled blood sugars, what happens is the eyes are some of the first changes that we see. So we see when we do an eye exam, when you go see your eye doctor for your annual checkup, they'll look for anything in the back of the eyes like bleeding or swelling or fluid leaking. I like to call it leaky eye syndrome. Maybe, some of your listeners may have heard of like leaky gut syndrome or leaky heart syndrome or leaky brain syndrome. Diabetes is a type of leaky eye syndrome where things are leaking into your eye that shouldn't be there. So the blood shouldn't be there, the protein shouldn't be there, the fluid shouldn't be there. So the best thing you can do for diabetes when it affects the eyes, it's called diabetic retinopathy. The best thing you can do is lower your blood sugar. And I know for some people who have really high blood sugars, it seems like overwhelming to be able to lower your blood sugar. But gradually over time, if you can get your blood sugars down, if you can get your hemoglobin A1C down to 6.5 or less, then the chances that your diabetes is going to cause you an issue with your eyes is going to be much, much lower. So I know it's not easy. It's easier said than done, but work with your doctor, maybe see a nutritionist if you need to get your blood sugars under control so you can stay away from this potentially blinding condition. So many people go blind every year from diabetes. It's really very, very tragic. And the more tragic thing is that it's preventable.
Wow. Doc, this has been so informative. We're going to have to reach out to you again, get you back on, because there's a lot of other things that we need to also learn and understand about the eyes and vision, because it's so important. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on this show. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another fantastic show. Wow. Most important, I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for taking time to look at the watch and listen to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I want everybody to dream big. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life.
Thanks for joining us for the James Cooley Show. It's your life. To learn more about Dr. James Cooley and how you can support the show or become a guest, visit cooleyfoundation.org. Join James for more motivation and inspiration to help you become equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. This has been It's Your Life with Dr. James Cooley, where you learn how to dream big, think big, and be big in everything you do.